President Sahle-Work calls for encouragement of conference tourism in Ethiopia. Rallies supporting Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed held throughout Oromia state. And Kenyan inventors come up with prosthetic arm operated by brain signals. Those are the top stories in this news edition. Hello and welcome to ETV News with the news. I'm Shmuel Islam. The House of People's Representatives in its regular session has passed a decision to revise the Election Political Parties Registration and Electoral Code of Conduct proclamation. Accordingly, the number of endorsement signatures to be produced by a private candidate has been reduced by half from 5,000 to not less than 2,500. And the number of endorsement signatures to be submitted by candidates with disabilities has also been minimized by half from 3,000 to not less than 1,500. The Parliament approved the resolution submitted to it by the Legal, Justice and Democratic Affairs Standing Committee and decided that the amended law becomes effective since January the 29th, 2021. President Sahle-Work has called for expansion of conference tourism in Ethiopia. Ethiopian Convention Bureau, dubbed MICE Ethiopia, has been officially launched in the presence of President Sahle-Work and former Ethiopian Prime Minister and Ethiopian Tourism Board Chair Haile Mariam Desalegn. Alula Teklemariam presents a story.
MICE Ethiopia, under the theme Meet in the Land of Origins, is highly projected to boost up the mounting tourism sector, taking account of meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibition strategies. In her keynote address, President Sahle-Work said the commencement of the Convention Bureau will help advance the competitiveness in the tourism sector.
ዓለም አቀፍ ስብሰባዎችን የማበረታቻ ጉዞዎች ጉባኤዎችና አውደ ርዕዮቶችን
It's a great move given that the official establishment of this Convention Bureau will help our country organize international meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, so the country will gain much more benefit from it. MICE Ethiopia is expected to advance the competitiveness in the tourism sector and help promote the country's untapped tourism potential to the rest of the world.
ሁኔታዎችን የሚያመቻቸው የኢትዮጵያ ኮንቬንሽን ቢሮ
For this to happen, there is a need where all actors scientifically join hands and accelerate the development of the tourism sector across the nation and with the President.
ከአብዛኛዎቹ ዘርፎች በተለየ ሁኔታ
In this sector, nothing is done single-handedly. It needs cooperation. In other words, it is not left to political officials only. We could not realize the expected outcome out of it, only setting policies and strategies. It rather requires active participation of all Ethiopians in promoting the good image of Ethiopia.
በአንድ ወይንም በተወሰኑ አካላት ብቻ
Meanwhile, former Ethiopian Prime Minister and Ethiopian Tourism Board Chair Haile Mariam Desalegn has applauded the socio-economic benefit of MICE Ethiopia.
የኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድን ተጠቅመው ተላላፊ መንገደኞች
This initiative will help augment the economic sector, enhancing stopover tourism as we have many international tourists and transitors that use Ethiopian airlines. So the MICE Ethiopia project launched today has paramount significance to our economy.
The initiative is set up with a view to making Ethiopia one of the top stopover and MICE tourism center in Africa.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has held phone talks with Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, on various issues. Prime Minister Abiy said the conversation he held with the German Chancellor was good and productive. The two have discussed national and regional issues, including COVID-19. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Chancellor Angela Merkel have also explored ways to strengthen development and economic cooperation between Ethiopia and Germany. A Voice of Solidarity rallies for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has been held throughout Oromia state today. Hundreds of thousands of people in the region have flocked to the streets, voicing their strong solidarity to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who has brought about different reforms in the country. Kasaon Chane presents a story as follows.
Residents of Oromia have been flooding in every town and city in a region to show that they are with the Prime Minister and his effort towards bringing change across the country. As a result, pro-PM Abiy rallies took place in the West and East Hararghe Zone, Oromia, Wallagga, Jimma, Arsi Zone, and in various cities. Slogans chanted in praise of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and support of the change he has spearheaded.
Abiy Ahmed,
it is a support that aims at his tremendous achievement being witnessed. The changes due to his strong leadership, good governance and diplomatic achievements, and to express our continued support for the achievements that he brought so far since he took office and show solidarity in his efforts to realize reforms throughout the nation. We didn't forget our youth who paid sacrifices in the past years, and for that, they took serious measures to create stable peace and security in the region. So we support him and his leadership. Many people in the country have been working tirelessly to dismantle Ethiopia. Their target was to destroy the country just like Syria and some other countries' political instability. But they have failed to do that. And now, there might be others who are working that devilish act, so we the youth should strive to curtail such an idea and pass a peaceful country for the generation to come. We lack solidarity, unity and living with harmony with other people. Therefore, we all united should safeguard our environs and the community. We ought to condemn the groups that are working to gain power and reverse the changes.
Participants of the rally have also denounced elements that are bent on holding back the reform and destabilizing the nation through various anti-peace activities. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has extended his appreciation to the people for their voice of solidarity.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia says Ethiopia has undertaken fruitful political and economic diplomatic activities using high-level official visits over the past 2 weeks. The ministry spokesperson, Dina Mufti, has briefed journalists today on the major developments in the country. Habtam Ashagre presents the following report.
In a press briefing held on Tuesday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia and President Sahle-Work Zewde has undertaken successful discussions with Tanzanian and DRC officials on a number of issues, including the next African Union Commission chairmanship, as well as other concerns. Briefing journalists, Ministry spokesperson Dina Mufti also said Ethiopia has conveyed a message of friendship and solidarity to both Tanzania and the DRC.
It was a successful visit. As you know, DRC is going to take up the chairmanship of the African Union by very soon, and that they are the ones that are carrying out, to carry out the coordination of the Garden negotiations. So the president has conveyed the message and the message of friendship and the message of solidarity with the DRC.
The humanitarian operation visit of the Commissioner of UNHCR Filippo Grandi in the northern part of Ethiopia was successful and remarkable, the spokesperson reaffirmed. Dina stresses that the ministry has undertaken webinar engagement about the current situation of Ethiopia to the well-known U.S. think tank group commonly known as Atlantic Council. According to the spokesperson, Ethiopia has briefed the Ethio-Sudan Border Dispute Council, and Ethiopia is always committed to solving this dispute with peaceful manner.
Think tank in engagement with the Deputy Prime Minister and his colleagues, where they have been briefed on the current situation in Ethiopia, especially on the current humanitarian operations in the northern part of Ethiopia and the reconstruction process. members of the new Biden administration were also in attendance of this webinar, and have benefited from the briefings made by the Deputy Prime Minister and his colleagues. They were briefed also on the Ethio-Sudan border issues, where they were informed that Ethiopia is committed to these peaceful resolutions of the conflict, and Ethiopia would like to reactivate the already existing mechanism of negotiations on the border with the Sudanese. And Ethiopia is not entertaining any notion of conflict with this neighborly country, that is Sudan.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Demeke Mekonnen, has appreciated the effort made by the outgoing U.S. Ambassador to Ethiopia, Michael Reiner.
Former American Ambassador to Ethiopia, Ambassador Reiner, also took leave of the Deputy Prime Minister. He expressed his commitment toward strengthening Ethio-American relationship wherever he goes. The Deputy Prime Minister has thanked him for the contribution he has made toward strengthening Ethio-America relationship. He briefed him also on what has transpired and the support that Americans have rendered to the reform process in Ethiopia.
Ambassadors from various European countries in Ethiopia have also briefed by the ministry's officials about the ongoing humanitarian assistance as well as rehabilitation activities in the state of Tigray.
Resident European ambassadors in Ethiopia were also briefed on the current situation and on the humanitarian activities that is going on. And they were thankful to the Deputy Prime Minister for the briefings. And there is a commitment on our part to brief them regularly on what is going on in the country, so that we keep them privy of everything happening here.
Based on citizen-centered policies, the government of Ethiopia has repatriated over 900 Ethiopians from Middle East countries. In the economic endeavor, Ethiopia has briefed investment opportunities for over 250 South Korean companies over the past weeks, he pointed.
Policy Matters is a conversation platform which aims to provide reasoned analysis and context to the activities, reforms, and policies of the federal government of Ethiopia. Exploring various reforms the government is undertaking, the conversation platform aspires to enable nuanced and informed understanding.
Transport is one of the sectors which is very close for innovative solutions. But as a country, the whole system that we used to have has been rigid, but it has to be as flexible as possible to address the needs of our people.
We are aware that there are a series of transformational interventions in the logistics sector. How would you measure your success for the intervention?
The establishment of the National Logistics Council, as per the direction indicated in the logistics policy, is one of the major big steps that we have taken as a government, because logistics is all about everything.
First Lady Zinash Tayacho has today laid a foundation stone for a special needs high school to be constructed in Leget Afo town of the outskirts of Addis Ababa. The high school, which will consume more than 19 million baht, will create better access to special needs education for students with intellectual disability, it was noted. The fund will be covered by the Office of the Prime Minister from the sale of Middemer book, which is authored by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Ethiopian candidate for AU Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation aspires to swiftly transform the continent's education system and instill Pan-Africanism among youth and children. This came during a testimonial held here in Addis Ababa yesterday. Santara Tamrat reports.
While Ethiopia is home to the African Union and the seat for the AU Commission since its establishment, the country neither runs for nor assumed commissioner posts. But it appears that Professor Hirut Waldemariam has shown determination to change this history as she is running as Ethiopia's candidate for a Commissioner of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation at the African Union after assuming 4 ministerial positions so far in her country. At a testimonial event held Monday, a number of colleagues, friends and university scholars have given testimonies on her achievements with her professional career and leadership.
She was one of the most liked, one of the most lovely advisors for her advices. I know this very well. She has been seriously concerned since our undergraduate program. She has been always seriously concerned about the deteriorating quality of education in Ethiopia. And when she assumed the ministerial position and the Moshe, I was so happy and excited to see changes, especially in the Ethiopian higher education. And I think she did all her best to transform the Ethiopian education system for the better. Her research works, even though they focus on Ethiopian languages and cultures, she is inclined to do research and to produce materials in the applied areas where linguistics is applied in sociology, in politics, in anthropology, and in technology and sciences. And some of her works, well, as I mentioned it earlier, it's the tip of an iceberg because I cannot take all the time to talk about the individual articles and books she contributed.
Professor Hirut is a hard-working, bold, fearless leader who changes challenges into opportunities, they described her. She was also highly appreciated for changing the country's higher education system in short time.
Ministry of Culture and Tourism, she was a pioneer in developing a policy very relevant to film production. And the other one is the branding of tourism, land of origin. And then she also initiated the registration of the Gada culture under UNESCO Intangible Culture List. And then when she was moved again to another ministry, Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, she did one very important change in the ministry, that is opening a directorate for Ministry of Disability.
Her role in empowering women to become leaders in higher institutions has been given huge credit. She grew the engagement of women leaders in universities from 40% to 70%.
Professor Hirut, in her tenure, she has initiated and contributed towards realization of gender policies. What I feel is there are very few representatives in STEM, not only in Ethiopia but also in Africa. Actually, when you go to Scandinavia, you can't imagine there are so few female who are in higher researchers in science, in STEM in general. And actually, she worked hard to start Women in Science Day. And if you remember, it happened last year, and during that time, recognized best female researchers and best female research groups.
Expressing her gratitude for the testimonies she received, Hirut vowed to transform Africa's education system soon she got the position.
The only way to have the Africa we want to have is only through quality and Africa-relevant education. I feel that, again, I'm sorry to be bold. I feel, and I consider myself that I'm well prepared to take up that position and to lead that commission.
Many who gave their testimony for Professor Hirut believe she will win the commissioner position at the AU because she is qualified and well experienced and very well knows the African education system.
Welcome back. Historians and elders urge for inculcating the spirit of unity and collaboration in the new generation as a top priority. Celebrating the victory of Adwa in all areas in one accord magnifies the unity, which is one of the values of the festival, they said.
The victory of Adwa is a legendary historical record that testifies no enemy can defeat Ethiopians when they are united. History tells us that by that time around 100,000 Ethiopian patriots from the all corners of the nation marched to Adwa willingly.
The main reason behind the Adwa victory is the commitment of our ancestors, the Ethiopian soldiers that fought that time. We cannot say just a certain ethnic group or followers of a given religion participated in the war. Ethiopians of different ethnicities, Muslims, Christians, elitists and illiterates all took part and shared the victory. Even after Adwa, they have some other wars Ethiopians fought and defended themselves together. This unity is one of the legacies of Adwa that all Ethiopians have inherited.
Kasu says the heartfelt patriotic passion the forefathers left for the current generation is what is still unifying all hearts of Ethiopians.
Even if you go to remote and rural areas and see what each of pastoralists say, they loud, "I am an Ethiopian." When you see the traditional jewelries in Konso, hammer and dasanet, all their ornamental beads and charms on their necks and hands are colored with green, yellow and red, which reflect the Ethiopian flag. This also works in Afar. They have a saying that goes, "Let alone the Afar people, but their camels know the flag of Ethiopia." Therefore, the Adwa victory created such strong and shared values of being Ethiopian.
Explaining that it is a victory which all Ethiopians unanimously took part in, the community elder Kaida Konna says that the landslide victory of Adwa has a meaning of power of unity for Gamo people.
Now it is time to come to unity. There is no benefit out of division today. The people already have learned and understood this from a past which we have been in. I personally understand that our fathers gave us a strong lesson for all Africa, that if we are united, we can do many things which seemed impossible before.
The community elder added that Ethiopians have inherited freedom and unity from the Adwa victory. Therefore, he said, due to the fact that commemoration of Adwa victory in all parts of the country with one heart enhances unity, thus shaping the generation in unity and collaboration as seen in Adwa should be prioritized.
And in our business update, Ethiopian Shipping and Logistics Services Enterprise has announced procurement of new port equipment at a cost of €901,814. The move is part of the effort to transform logistics services at Mojo Dry Port and Terminal. The new equipment will add impetus to the existing port machineries. Machineries procured include 8 terminal tractors and 11 terminal chalices, the enterprise indicated. The enterprise further stated that it has readied 48 additional port machineries it bought with a budget secured from the World Bank. The machineries are believed to help speed up the loading and unloading of import-export goods at Mojo Dry Port and lifting of goods from Ethio-Djibouti Railway to the dry port and vice versa.